It's important. The reason why for that, like in Kaduna, where we have Kadbusa, where that's an agency that works on the issue of drug treatment, care, and prevention. I think Gombe needs something like that. I was in Kaduna when the then Commissioner for Security was in Kaduna. We had a meeting. I was there because I was one of the advisors to that Kadbusa then. And another thing that I think we lack is this issue of rehabilitation center. Gombe being the center of Northeast, I think each senatorial district should have one good rehab center. Very important. And let there be partnership between the government and all our senators, members, House of Reps. This is responsibility that everybody should work on, and even our business community. Let there be at least one good rehab center in each of the districts. Finally, Your Excellency, in conclusion, drug abuse is fueling security everywhere in the world. Gombe is also not exceptional. But we thank Allah for all He has been doing for us that we've been enjoying. Multi-sectoral collaboration is key, where we'll have CSOs, government security agencies, community leaders, our religious leaders coming together to say that, look, enough is enough, and let us end this issue of drug abuse. Finally, let us take action. It is possible to overcome. It is possible to live in a community where there will be no drugs in our areas. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, a round of applause once more for him. That was a wonderful presentation. Ibrahim Yusuf Gombe, from a drug abuser to anti-drug abuse campaigner. That's quite interesting. Please, a round of applause once more for him. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your patience. At this moment, Your Excellency, sir, we're moving to the 6th item on our agenda, and it's also a discussion. It's also a presentation from pulpit to peace building, the evolving role of religious leaders in Gombe security architecture. Two clergies will be handling that, and I want to invite, as his capacity as the chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Gombe, Reverend Joseph Shinga, to come over for the presentation. Please, a round of applause for him as he comes forward.
Your Excellency, the Governor, Executive Governor of Gombe State, Alhaji Mamadou Ino Yahaya, with your kind permission, may I make my submission. The title of the work given to us is From Pulpit to Peace Building, the Evolving Role of Religious Leaders in Gombe Security Architect. Religious leaders have a crucial role to play in bringing peace and making our societies more secured than ever. Earlier on today, our security chiefs have given us the background of what we have been experiencing at the national and the state levels. And we are all witnesses to the enormous challenges faced, stacking us at the face through insurgency and other forms of insecurity. Security has become everybody's business. And that is why we need to put all hands on deck to make sure we do not leave the issue of security to the police, the military, and other security agencies. Rather, all of us must put our hands on deck to avert this menace. For us, as religious leaders, one of our function, our roles, is to establish good relationship with the other religion. As a pastor, a Christian, I have a duty, I have a role to look at the next mosque and develop good relationship with adherents of that religion. That is number one function of a leader. Because without peace and understanding, insecurity will thrive. Insurgency will be on the increase. So understanding ourselves, despite our religious differences, will go a long way. And every religious leader has that duty to promote good relationship with the other faith. Secondly, one of the roles of religious leader is to identify the offenders of insecurity. We should identify them and call them as such, rather than tagging them or associating them with a religion or with a tribe or with an ethnic group. We should identify them and call them by their names, rather than associating them with a religion or with a... The third aspect of our role as religious leaders is to build and institutionalize interfaith peace community, where we bring our youth, we inform them the need to collaborate together, to come together, to really face the causes of insecurity in our land. We have to be united against this odds. As a Christian, I can't face it alone. And I believe my other Muslim counterparts cannot face it alone. We have the duty to come together to synergize so as to face what stands in as a block towards experiencing peace and security in our land. Another aspect is for religious leaders to create the awareness of the local policing. This is a time when talk all over is going on. State policing, local policing, vigilante. There is need for us to look at that. From what the police chiefs have said, the number of the police, the ratio compared to us as the civilians is grossly inadequate. So the aspect of self-defense has to come in. We should put it in the awareness of our people, the need to protect the life God has given us, to use a legitimate means to protect ourselves. And community policing, I think, should be one of our take-home, to look at it, to see how we can do and protect ourselves. After all, I am the first chief security of my life, and I think we are also the chief security of your life. You owe a duty to protect your life, just as I should protect my own life. Therefore, religious leaders should launch this and bring it to the awareness of our people. And then they need to educate ourselves, to constantly educate our youths about the need to come together in every angwa, in every locality. There is need to meet from time to time to see and to discuss issues of common challenges. In fact, the role of the religious leaders are enormous, multitasking in nature. So I hope and pray that this summit will not end here. I can see the governor taking some note. It means something actionable plan will come from this meeting. So thank you so much, and may God bless you all. Now go there.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause while he takes his seats. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the next speaker. But before then, please, we had announced earlier on, if there are questions you wish to ask, there will be sessions for questions and answers immediately after this last presentation. So in case you have questions, you're please requested to write them down. If you cannot ask them yourself, just jot them and then pass it across to us, please. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to read briefly the citation of the next person to make presentation. Born in Jos in the year 1977, Professor Rashid Abdul Ghani completed his primary school in Township Primary School, Jos, in 1989, and secondary school in El Kanemi College, Jos, in 1996. He holds a BA degree from the prestigious Islamic University, Medina, in 2001, an MA from the University of Jos in 2005, and a PhD from Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto, in 2011. Professor Rashid is a professor of Islamic studies with specialty in Hadith studies. His other areas of research interest includes Islamic economics and Islamic theology. With over 2 decades of teaching and research experience in the academia, Professor Abdul Ghani held numerous positions and served in various committees and panels at the departmental, faculty, and university levels. He was the faculty examination officer from 2010 to 2016, head of department from 2016 to 2020, director of academic planning from 2020 to 2025, dean student affairs, and he's still the dean student affairs, Gombe State University. He also served as member, Joint Council Senate Committee on Vice Chancellor Search Team 2014, member, Joint Senate Council Committee on the selection of new VC for Gombe State University, October 2019. In addition, Professor Abdul Ghani had served as an external examiner for both undergraduate and postgraduate programs to a number of institutions in the country, including University of Ilorin, Federal University Kashere, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, and College of Education Biliri. He won research and grants, and he has traveled to attend national and international workshops. Professor Abdul Ghani is the director of Tafsir and Seminar, Jibwis Gombe State, and a presenter of Islamic programs in a number of indigenous and foreign media, such as Sunnah TV, NTA Gombe, GMC, and Vision FM Gombe. Besides, he is the Deputy Chief Imam of Gombe State University Central Masjid, and the Director and the Chief Imam, Abadru Rahman Islamic Center, Gombe. Your Excellency, sir, may I invite to the podium Professor Abdul Rashid Abdul Ghani to also add his voice on the topic from pulpit to peace building, the evolving role of religious leaders. You're welcome, sir.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Gombe State, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. I start with the introduction. Peace and security matters are always at the center stage of Islamic discourse. Islam views security as an essential tool for man to attain the mission of his existence as Allah's vicegerent on earth. No effective religious rights nor human development can take place without peace and security. For this reason, the 5 main objectives of Islamic law, that is Sharia, centered on security. Security of life, security of religion, security of property, security of progeny, and security of thoughts and intellect. Therefore, the issue of peace and security should be seen as fundamental in Muslim life. The member, that is the pulpit and peace building. The member serves as a spiritual platform on which the real message of Islam is expected to be delivered. It focuses on building God-fearing in the hearts of the believers and admonish them on the essential means to well-being and success here and in the hereafter. The Prophet ﷺ used the minbar to transform humanity for better. Whoever stays on the minbar must consider himself as a representative of the Prophet ﷺ and of course a spokesperson on behalf of Allah and his messenger ﷺ. This makes it imperative for minbar's users to make better use of the platform to inculcate in man how to attain peace between himself and his creator, likewise between himself and other creators. Your Excellency, sir, here I made mention of what I consider as focus areas for imams and religious leaders, specifically Muslim leaders, to focus on during their sermons, during their khutbahs, during their tafsir circles, and other places of teaching. One, they should re-echo always the value of human life. The Quran says, أنه من قتل نفسا بغير نفس فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا. Meaning, whoever kills a single soul is tantamount to destruction of the entire mankind. And whoever spares a soul is tantamount to sparing the entire mankind. So we should make this as part of our delivering of the message time to time so that people will get to know this. Secondly, scholars must focus on preaching tolerance, especially among followers of different faith. The Quran clearly said, لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروهم وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. That Allah never forbids you to treat kindly those that share other faiths to you. Once they didn't harm you, you need not to harm them. The third issue that I think scholars should make much focus on is the issue of simplicity of religious practice. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ad-dinu yusr. The entire deen, the entire religion, Islam is an easy religion. It's very easy to practice. So being so harsh in religious practices leads to a lot of violence and considering others weak in faith, which is another phase of attacking them with no justification. Fourth, encouraging moderation and exposing the dangers of extremism. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the nation of this ummah as ummatan wasata. Allah said, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ ummatan wasata. He said, that is how we have made you to be a moderate nation. No laxity, no extremism. The 5, scholars should focus on preaching the leaders/lad relationship. What is the rights and duties of the leader? What is the rights and duties of the led? It's unfortunately that sometimes scholars focus on hammering on the rights and duties of the leaders, neglecting the duties and rights of the led. So Islamically, they should all be addressed so that we will have peace. 6th one, social solidarity, what is known in Islam as at-takaful al-ijtima'i. community or societies must come together to assist in maintaining peace and taking care of the needy. Orphans in the society must be taken care of. This must not be left to government alone, because neglecting this aspect may lead to security threats. 7th, dialogue. Scholars should preach dialogue as a viable means of mutual understanding. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَا تُجَادِلُوا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَا تُجَادِلُوا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. Do not go into dialogue with Christians or Jews except with the mission of knowing the truth and doing the right thing, which means it's permissible, not because we want to argue, but because we want to fashion out and know the truth. 8, peace and anger control. Scholars should use their platforms to preach patience, and patience, and also preach the control of anger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praise those who control their anger by saying, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah praise those that swallow anger, because a lot of crises happen to be because of anger. One couldn't control his anger. That is why when a companion came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said to him, admonish me. He said, La taghdab. Don't be angry. He said, and then he said, don't be angry. He said, and the next, he said, don't be angry. So which means if people could control their anger, then a lot of crises will not even come to stay or come in place. You may